Good evening. The Brick Township Council to order. Madam Clerk.
Adequate notice of this meeting was provided and published in the Asbury Park Press and the Ocean Star on February 8, 2019. Copies of the agenda were provided to the newspaper, posted on public bulletin boards and the township website.
Thank you. At this time, would everyone please silence or turn off your cell phone? Roll call, please.
Councilman Fosman.
Here.
Councilwoman Ponterero. Councilwoman DeYoung.
Here.
Councilman Mumolo.
Here.
Councilman Halloran.
Here.
Vice President Crate.
Here.
President Zapsik.
Here.
Thank you.
Would everyone please stand for a salute to the flag and a moment of silence?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the May 28th and June 11th council meetings. Motion.
Second.
Motion by Council Vice President Crate, seconded by Councilman Halloran. Roll call, please.
Councilman Fosman.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Mumolo.
Yes.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Zapsik.
Yes.
Thank you.
We have two presentations this evening. At this time, I'd like to ask Mayor Ducey if he would come to the podium, and Tom Kaczmarek, please come forward.
Mr. Kaczmarek, Tom Kaczmarek, who's standing to my right. He was recently, on June 23rd, it was this past Sunday, was inducted into the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame at a ceremony which took place at the Claridge Hotel. He is a legendary boxing judge. Mr. Kaczmarek, also known as Tommy K, started boxing as an amateur in 1946 and followed with his professional career between 1947 and through 1949 with a record of 11 wins, 5 losses, and 3 draws. Tommy K eventually became more widely known as he continued his love for boxing by becoming a judge for the sport. During his distinguished career, he judged more than 1,500 fights, including many high-profile ones, and ones that you probably watched on pay-per-view. Sugar Ray Leonard versus Tommy Hearns, 2. Oscar De La Hoya versus Floyd Mayweather. George Foreman versus Evander Holyfield. And that's just to name a few. There's many. Obviously, there's another 1,497 plus fights that Mr. Kaczmarek has judged. Tom is a lifelong resident of New Jersey who happily now calls Brick Township his home. He was born in Elizabeth and has been married to his wife Agnes, who is here present. For 65 years, they have been married. And Mr. Kaczmarek has also served as mayor of Clark up in Union County from 1969 through 1972. Was also a freeholder. Up in Union County, as well as a parole board, violent crimes board. In 1994, Tom was inducted into the New Jersey Boxing Hall of Fame for his storied career, and he lives life by this phrase: "Boxing has taught me that no matter what life throws your way, you need to keep punching." For all of these reasons, I, John G. Ducey, the mayor of the Township of Brick in the County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, in honor of his being inducted into the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame, in recognition of his distinguished career in the sport of boxing, I do hereby proclaim Wednesday, tomorrow, June 26, 2019, to be Tom Kaczmarek Day, and I ask all Brick residents to please join me in congratulating my friend Tom Kaczmarek. And I actually have one other special thing beyond the day. We actually have a key to Brick Township, so a key to the township, to the town.
This is indeed an honor. Can I say a few words?
Of course,
Yes. Yes, members of the council, mayor, town council, and the great administrator that you have. I'm a little nervous because I'm home. I've been all over the world, believe me. I've done fights as far as Australia, China, but here, for some reason, I think it's because how much I love Brick. And I just want to tell you a short story, kind of, first about the fact that our mayor saw fit to go out to Atlantic City to witness my induction into the Hall of Fame. It was something that told a story about our town. It's a town that is like a family. I hear you say that once in a while, and it's true. In my travels, I'm often asked, where do you live? And I'll respond by saying, I live in Brick Township, and you should be fortunate enough to have lived there, I tell these folks. Because Brick, I'm here 32 years now, it's a great place to raise your kids. It's a great place to live in. It's a great place. The people are all wonderful. And a lot of towns lack that. And you'll see that worldwide. Not every place is like Brick, believe me. So I just want to tell you that I'm really sincerely appreciative of the mayor having read the proclamation and presented it to me, and the council having me here in the chambers and listening. And it's just been a great highlight in my career. And as we say, keep punching. Thank you. Yes. Should we have that? Bye-bye. Thank you, Jennifer. Take care, folks.
And then our second presentation this evening, I'd like to invite up Nancy Bontavoyko, the Brick Library Branch Manager.
Thank you so much. That's a hard act to follow, but I'm really kind of feeling like part of that Brick family at the library. We really feel like part of the bigger family, and we're here to serve our family too. We're here to help everybody, and that's why I came to talk about summer reading at the library, our busiest time, our most exciting time. Our theme this summer is a universe of stories, and we have something for the kids, for the teens, and for the adults. I'm going to quickly talk about that, and then I'm going to leave some items with Ms. Jennifer, the council secretary, that maybe the public might like to take, but we always have tons of flyers you can come to the library and pick up. If anybody has kids or grandkids, I just really want to encourage Reading Buddies. That's a program that is very popular. We have it at all branches in the library every summer, and that is where they pair up a child from grade 1 to grade 4 with a teen buddy. It helps them to read. It helps them feel safe. They seem to do better than with like a teacher figure like a librarian or someone. They do really well with teens, and they bond together, and it improves their reading skills. So please consider signing the children up for summer reading. I'm going to leave applications and just flyers about that program. And just, again, think of bringing the kids to the library this summer. We have some great programs, especially the big one is our Star Wars program. The 501st Remnant is going to be there. Those are the reenactors that dress up like stormtroopers. And so the kids get a chance to take a picture with the stormtroopers. And we kick off this week. Actually, Friday is the first day of summer reading, so we'll be kicking off with a summer reading party and science tellers with the program Aliens Escape from Earth.
And I'm going to leave just a lot of flyers so I don't keep talking and talking and talking about that. But there is just so much, so please come and take a flyer. We also have a new tracker app so that the kids sign up for summer reading. Those of you that have had kids in the school system or grandkids, they log in. If they read 5 books, they get a certificate at the end of the summer. A lot of times teachers like to see that. And for every 5 books they read, they get a raffle ticket. We have a lot of cool giveaways, among them being Barnes & Noble gift cards. So there's a lot of reading incentives. And the Bean Stack app is very easy to use. But if you're a little unsure about apps, that's another thing that we do at the library. We help you use all your computers, your iPads, your e-readers. Please come and make an appointment. We have computer classes for grown-ups all year long, too. The kids already know a lot of that stuff, right? We have a lot of teen programs going on. The Stranger Things release party is going to be on the 3rd of July. We have Wilderness Survival for Teens on the 17th of July. We have Galactic Beats, which is a mobile recording studio, coming on July 31st. They're going to collaboratively reimagine the Star Wars theme. So you get the idea. It's a whole summer reading space theme, a lot with Star Wars, because we like Star Wars. But we're not plugging Star Wars. But that's really cool stuff. And we have stuff going on all summer for teens as well. The other thing, now for grown-ups, all you grown-up people out there, if you like music, we have some awesome groups coming really quickly. We have BJ and the band. If anybody in here loves Motown, I love Motown. He's going to be performing at the Brick Library, 6:30 on July 17th. The programs are already filling up. We have limited space. Man, you will be dancing in the library. I love BJ. I used to have him all the time in Lacey. He plays all around Jersey and has this great, soulful voice. We have the Summer Swing Band coming on July 27th at 2 o'clock. And then later in August, we have Rhythm and Sound playing a lot of oldies. That's on August 24th. So as you see, we have a lot of cool stuff going on all summer long. I am going to remove myself from here now, since I've taken up some time. But I want to thank you for listening and encourage you to come to the library. We have something for everybody, whether it's just taking a computer course. We have them all summer long. We have reading and poetry workshops for people that like to write, and they're picking up steam. We have SCORE programs. We partner with SCORE of Ocean County for those. In fact, they're meeting right now at my branch. They had a good turnout for about people that want to start their own business. If there's something we're not offering you, please come and talk to me. We are your library. We work for you, right? That's what we do here, right? We work for you guys. So always let me know what you want, and we'll try to bring it to the library. And thank you. And have a wonderful summer. I'll probably see you in the fall. Thank
Thank
you.
you. And we are on to the consent agenda. Madam Clerk.
All matters listed under item consent agenda will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. If discussion is desired on any item, this item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately.
Thank you. Item 4.1.
Recognize National Pride Month, the month of June.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
This resolution recognizes June as Pride Month to celebrate the lesbian, bisexual, gay, transgender, and queer community and to recognize the immeasurable impact to the cultural, civic, and economic successes of our country that the LGBTQ individuals have had.
Thank you. Item 4.2.
Authorize insertion of Chapter 159, New Jersey Environmental Commission's ANJEC Grant 2019.
Thank you. Council Vice President Crate.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the insertion of a grant in the amount of $1,500 from the Association for New Jersey Environmental Commissions. This grant will be used for educational signage.
Thank you. Resolution 4.3.
Authorize submission of grant application NJDOT 2020 Municipal Aid Program, Laurelhurst 2.
Thank you. Mayor?
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the submission of our NJDOT 2020 municipal aid application. So it's a grant that the state pays for these roads. It's for our Laurelhurst Road project, and that includes the most important part. People want to know what roads does that mean. So it's Laurelhurst Drive. It is Robbins Court, Robbins Street, Diane Drive, and Edgewood Drive, all off of Princeton Avenue over there. Thanks.
Thank you. Resolution 4.4.
Authorize receipt of bids, roadway improvements to isolated roads.
Mayor.
This is a continuation of our program that we started a few years ago, where there are certain streets around town that are isolated, meaning that they're in bad shape, but then the roads around them are in good shape. So that road would just kind of wait and get into really, really, really bad shape. So we started what we call an isolated roads program. So it's isolated roads throughout the town that are worse than their surrounding streets. So it puts them all together to save on costs, obviously, because it's expensive when you don't do a whole neighborhood. So when we lump a whole bunch of isolated streets together, it works out with the program. And this one is going to authorize the receipt of bids for Baywood Boulevard, Sudbury Road, West Granada Drive North, and Van Note Drive as an alternate. So the first ones are definite, and hopefully there's enough money left over to do Van Note as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 4-5.
Authorize award of contract Year 3 Administration of Affordable Housing.
Mrs. Bergen?
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the award of contract for Year 3 of the contract with Homes Now, Inc. to facilitate the implementation of the township's affordable housing program.
Thank you. Resolution 4-6.
Authorize change order number 1 final Public Works Yard, Vehicle Storage, and Fuel Station Canopy Improvements.
Council Vice President Crate.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes a change order decrease in the amount of $70,433.16 to the contract awarded to Gavin General Contracting, Lakewood, for the Public Works Yard Vehicle Storage and Fuel Station Canopy Improvement Project. The decrease is the result of the contractor being able to minimize the area of disturbance and being able to use existing timber guardrail. The contract is therefore decreased from $661,527.36 to $591,094.20.
Thank you. Resolution 4-7.
Authorize change order number 1 final CDBG improvements to Disabled American Veterans Building.
Thank you. Councilman Mamalo?
Thank you, Madam President. The resolution authorizes a change order decrease in the amount of $9 to the contract awarded to JNP Construction LLC of Jackson for the CDBG improvements to the Disabled American Veterans Building project. The contract is therefore decreased from $77,350 to $77,341. Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 4-8, please.
Authorize 2019-2020 plenary retail consumption liquor license renewal with restrictions, Trey and Rosalitas.
Thank you. Councilman Halloran?
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the renewal of a plenary retail consumption license to GR Brick LLC, trading as Trey Pizza, Pasta, Beer Garden, and Rosalita's Roadside Cantina.
Thank you. Resolution 4-9.
Authorize 2019-2020 plenary retail consumption liquor license renewal with restrictions, used to be's.
Thank you. Councilman Halloran?
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the renewal of a plenary retail consumption license to Med Marion, trading as Used to Be's.
Thank you. Resolution 4-10.
Authorize placement of tax liens for property cleanups.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the placement of tax liens at 589 Allen Road in the amount of $183.59, 204 Winchester Drive in the amount of $567.87, 520 Nebraska Avenue in the amount of $213.10, 618 Illinois Avenue in the amount of $243.63, and 13 Rosalind Road in the amount of $385.88. I did ask Mrs. Bergen to provide me with the details on the code violations at these properties and who the owners were of these properties. 2 are under control of a property management firm. 1 was sold at tax sale. 1 is vacant because the owner is deceased. And 204 Winchester Drive is actually vacant. It is owned by a gentleman who lives in Manasquan who continues to pay the taxes and fails to maintain the property. So there are numerous liens on that. It's a neighborhood eyesore, but as long as he continues to pay the taxes, there's not much we can do other than violate him and place liens. Resolution 411, please.
Authorize special events permit, Kids for Canines.
Thank you. Councilwoman DeYoung.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes a special events permit for Kids for Canines from 9 a.m. to noon on Saturday, September 7th at the Havens Farm on Herbertsville Road with a rain date of September 8th.
Thank you. Resolution 412.
Authorize special events permit, Maniloking Road Ale House Tent Party Event.
Thank you. Councilman Mumolo.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes a special events permit for a tent party event from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. on July 13th and 14th, and on August 10th and 11th at the Manilokin Road Ale House on Manilokin Road.
Thank you. Resolution 413, Madam Clerk.
Yes. Bond releases and reductions. 413A is a performance bond release for Osprey Homeowners Association on Route 35 North in the amount of $1,095.95. 413B is a performance bond in the amount of $9,422.37, an inspection fund release in the amount of $1,450.59 for Carmine Tetta for the project on Maniloking Road. 413C is an inspection fund release in the amount of $79.12 for Brian Thorne for Block 1107, Lot 4, off Van Zile Road.
Thank you. Resolution 414, Tax Collector, Mrs. Bergen.
Thank you. 14A are tax overpayments for the year 2019. There are two, Block 383.24, Lot 26, in the amount of $1,449, and Block 1167.06, Lot 7, in the amount of $1,919.88. 14B is a redemption of a tax sale certificate at Block 269, Lot 17, 101 Bayview Drive.
Thank you. Resolution 415.
Authorize award a bid, Whitman Street Phase 2 culvert and embankment repairs.
Thank you. Mrs. Bergen.
This resolution authorizes the award of bid to a contractor for the Whitman Street Phase 2 culvert and embankment repairs. This is the second phase of the dam repair project. That includes filling voids under the existing spillway pipe, removing a deteriorated invert section of the spillway pipe, forming a new invert with concrete, and lining the entire length of the existing spillway pipe with concrete reinforced fiber. The project scope has been approved by the New Jersey Division of Dam Safety and Flood Control and is considered critical following the historic rain event from August 2018. Township is working with the Greenbrier Association to recoup costs through insurance.
Thank you. Resolution 416.
Authorize temporary extension waiving building department fees for flood event.
Thank you. Mayor Ducey.
Yes, this also has to do with the August 13th, 2018 flood that occurred in Greenbrier, but also at other parts throughout our town. We had waived the township fees with regards to permits. The council had done that, but that expired, because you only can do that for a certain amount of time. It expired on March 31st, 2019, so now we're renewing it to go through September 1st of 2019. There's a lot of people who were fighting with insurance companies, trying to get money from them, so they didn't apply for the permits by that March 31st date. And then also, there's some people who have outdoor work that needs to be done, which obviously you weren't doing in January and February when the ground was frozen, so those permits are coming in now. So we're asking the council to please extend it through September 1st of 2019.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And that ends the consent agenda. May I have a motion and a second, please?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Mumolo, second by Councilman Halloran. Open to council for questions.
Has the engineer come through for Greenbrier 1, the study that was there yet? I know last week I did. I'm checking every council meeting to see if anything's coming in.
The county has not given it to us. They promised us we would get it as soon as they get it.
Okay.
So until the county, I would check with the freeholders. That's probably the best move. They're going to get it first.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none, close council, open to public for questions on the resolutions. Ms. Call?
Nan Carl, 18 Greenbrier Boulevard. The first items that I'm looking for more information on are the two plenary retail consumption liquor license renewal with restrictions. I remember years ago when licenses were sold, the discussion about which ones had restrictions and what the restrictions were. I'm very curious to know what are the restrictions on these two licenses.
Yeah, I know.
I can answer that if you want, or you can.
Oh, you have it? Okay.
Yeah.
You
The,
probably have it quicker than I do.
The first one for Trey and Rosalita's, their restriction is it operates as a family restaurant having at least 150 seats. And Used to Be's has no outside music. They have to have security guards between the hours of 10 and 3 from Memorial Day to Labor Day, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. No empty bottles shall be deposited outside after 10 p.m. and before 8 a.m. And that's all.
Thank you very much for the information.
Anyone else? Mr. Sluka?
Only because Mr. Finelli isn't here. John Sluka, 950 Sylvia. This canopy improvement, $60,000 beneficial? Is that what we get out of it? He always says, good job. I just figured he's not here. Let me say it to you. And we got some guests here today? Are they new?
I'm sorry?
We got some new guests here today?
Yeah. Oh. Thank you. Anyone else?
Colleen Crate, 133 Meridian Drive, Brick, New Jersey. Last year, Kids for Canines raised $2,831 for the Brick Township Canine Unit. Those funds were used to purchase life-saving canine trauma kits for our canines, along with official police badges for each of the dogs serving in Brick. It was an honor and our pleasure to work with the canine officers in Brick to learn more about the canine unit and their specific needs. Many people are unaware of the dangers police canine units encounter on a daily basis. Our hope is to continue to help our Brick police officers to keep their canine partners safe by raising money to help them purchase more of the life-saving equipment they need and use each and every day. We also have the goal of helping to raise enough funds to assist the acquisition of a new canine partner that may be joining the force in the future. Our fundraising goal for this year's Kids for Canines event is $5,000, and we hope the public will be willing to help. Our event has been endorsed by both the Brick PBA and BMAC. We are currently seeking sponsors and vendors for the event, so feel free to reach out to us if you are a local business or vendor and want to participate.
Maya Jackson. This year, Kids for Canines event will be held on Saturday, September 7th from 9 a.m. to noon at Heyman's Homestead Farm located on Herbertsville Road in Brick. Our theme this year is Canine Carnival. We are inviting local residents to bring their favorite four-legged friends out for our fun walk around the farm along with some extra exciting attractions including police canine demonstrations throughout the day with the Brick Canine officers, doggy obstacle courses, face painting, fun photo ops, vendors, bake sale, 50-50 raffle, gift baskets, dog-friendly snacks, and carnival games for everyone, and so much more. With a little help from our moms and a lot of help from our friends, we are hoping to make this a fun day for everyone. We are hoping everyone will join us Saturday, September 7th from 9 a.m. to noon at Havens Farm for this year's Canine Carnival. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from public? Yes, ma'am. Just the resolutions at this time. Anyone else on the resolutions? Seeing none, close public. Roll call, please.
Councilman Fosman.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Abstain 4344, yes to the rest.
Abstain from which one?
4344.
4-3 and 4-4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. Councilman Mumalo.
Yes.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Abstain for 11 and yes to the rest.
President Zapsik.
Yes.
Thank
We're on to 417, bill resolution. Madam Clerk.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid, and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Computer bill resolution in the amount of $3,183,846.82.
Thank you. May I have a motion and a second, please?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Mumolo, second by Council Vice President Crate. Open to council for questions.
Yes, I have some questions.
Yes,
On
Councilman Osmond.
page 1, Act Engineering, it says dredging maintenance management plan, and also hydrographic survey. The management plan, is that the total cost of it, or is that just a partial payment?
This is just a partial payment?
And that's from 2011, am I correct?
I'm sorry?
And that was from the ordinance on 2011?
That's the ordinance that it was charged to, ordinance number 2611. So the total contract for the dredging management plan is $59,950, and the total for the hydro survey is $34,990.
And that's just to dredge at the marina, or is that just to dredge anywhere in town?
This is not to dredge at all. This is to do the required dredge and upland management plan. When we met with the DOT Office of Maritime Resources, who manages dredging for the state, we have been meeting with them to see if we could partner with them, if they wouldn't take it upon themselves to do some of the dredging that we need in town. The best case scenario would be if the DOT would take some of the projects, and while they'll do large scale projects, they won't do small privately owned lagoon areas, and as you know, we've had those folks come and say that they need some help. But for us to perhaps partner with them as they mobilize dredge projects locally, we would have to have both of these components completed. We'd have to have a completed dredge and upland material management plan in place, and in order to do that, we have to do the hydrographic survey. We have put a notice on our website for folks who have noticed them out there taking some of the samples, that they can check and see what's going on with the project, and how far they're come in their work. So we're working diligently to get this plan done so that we can be more in a better position to partner with contracts that are currently underway for dredging.
And how long are this management plan good for? If we get it today, how long will it be good for? 5 years, 10 years?
Well, it would always, of course,
Just for
depend
the
on if
project?
there's another large-scale event that would change the way of our waterways, but it is considered a plan that has a long shelf life.
So we don't know how long this will be for. I mean, is it 5 years, 10 years? I don't know. I'm asking.
It has to be at least 5 to be able to put it in the capital budget, correct?
That's correct.
I don't need copies of those. I'll email you on that there.
Any other questions?
Yes. Same page, ACV, Enviro Hazardous Waste Removal. Is that oil and stuff from Public Works? It's $11,953.
So this is material that was at the Public Works yard that folks, residents and so forth had dropped off that were, say, paint materials, other types of materials that could not be disposed of properly through the landfill that we had been keeping in an area until we had enough to arrange for proper pickup and disposal.
What other materials besides paint are they taking in? I thought we weren't taking paint in anymore.
We're not. This is as we've gone through the process of really cleaning up the yard and cleaning up areas and getting everything straightened out. This was some cans that we had that were taken in mistakenly, or people left with, and it wasn't noticed, but it's mostly paint and paint materials that had to be disposed of properly.
Thank you. Page 2, Advanced Computer Concepts, it says Mayor's Tax Bill Letter. That was $1,256. Couldn't we have done that in-house? That's the Mayor's Tax Bill Letter that went out. Why can't we print that up in-house? This says it's $1,256.
We were not able to do it in-house. We did it in conjunction with the tax bill mailing, and it was also for for
So
printing.
that was the cost of the envelope, of the stamps and everything, or it just went inside? Because it came in a separate envelope.
Right. I don't know if the postage was included or if this is just a printing of the letter. I believe it's just a printing.
I just thought we could do that in-house. Page 3. Allied Fire and Safety Equipment, says kitchen fire suppression, was $3,800. It doesn't say where it went. Is that for Brick Beach 1 or Brick Beach 3?
Brick Beach 3.
3. And we're responsible for that before we rent it out.
Correct.
Page 5. Aquatic Technologies. It's a 2019 seasonal contract. It was $5,356. It is park maintenance. Was that for the sprinklers heads in the parks?
No, this
Aquatic?
is for treatment that we do annually at Lake Riviera Upper and Lower, Brick Lake Park, and Godfrey Lake.
And what do we treat them for? I mean, we don't even own Godfrey Lake.
It's something that we've done every year. It's fallen into sort of a routine that helps maintain them. We do get complaints about, lily pads and algae and.
So what do
things
they
of
do,
that
go in and
nature.
clean it all out?
Yeah, there's a treatment that is applied by this company that we contract with to do that.
Thank you. Page 6. Sediment sampling at Traders Cove, it's $4,155. It came out of 2011 dredging. Was that was the money left over from 2011 to do the sampling of the material that was dumped out back?
That was the ordinance that it was charged to, and that is the work that they performed.
Page 11. It's CDW Government. It's Panasonic Tugboat, $63,000. It's data processing. Is that a yearly fee for them?
We purchased 15 Tough Books with extended service warranty.
Okay. Page 12. Oh, sorry. 31. Grace, the attorneys Grace Mamero and Associates. And there's several lawsuits there. The Garden versus Brick. I noticed a couple bills for them, $1,800 and $180.
I believe Kevin answered this when you
Yeah,
asked
this
last
came
time.
up-
Do you
Was
want
that
to
the
answer
same one
again?
still going on?
Yes, the township's been sued by someone who purchased a tax lien from the town and is dissatisfied with the property and is trying to get their money back, so we're defending against.
Continuously going on, all right. I see Councilman Mumalo's here. Was that, it says general legal matters? Is that for,
That was tax appeal that was filed against the township by Councilman Mumalo, and there was counsel retained to defend against that. I think the cost was $162?
$132?
132, I'm sorry.
So we have to go to another town when he appeals his taxes?
No,
we have
no,
to
we
pay
don't
the
actually. We used to do it that way. The county assessor changed the procedure this year and said it stays in town, but we have to get conflict counsel to handle it, which is what we did here.
Okay. All right. Page 37. It says Jersey State Controls, repair leak in new AC unit. Wasn't the unit under warranty?
The warranty had expired, and there was a leak in the police briefing room, and that had to be repaired.
The reason I'm asking, because it says new AC unit under this heading here, so usually there's a 10-year warranty on these things. Page 44. McMahon, Scottman, Bauman, Food Town redevelopment for $648. Are we getting reimbursed for that because it's Food Town, or is that our responsibility, what they're doing? I don't know what else they're doing to the site. I mean,
The work that they did was to prepare and send executed versions of the redevelopment agreement, the purchase and sale agreement, and the site access agreement to the redevelopment councils for the applicants. So we are working to finalize the documents that we need to officially sell the property.
Can I ask a question about that, Mrs. Bergen?
Sure.
It's being taken out of a trust account, so that's coming out of the fees that the developers already paid and not the township expenses?
An escrow account, correct.
Okay, thank you.
page 50. It says Point Pleasant Bicycles, we send our patrol bikes out to get tuned up, and how come we're not sending them to any Brick bicycle repair shops? Why are we going out of town? We have several in town. We have one on Maniloking, one down by the Circle. Is there any particular reason why we're not staying local for that?
I couldn't answer that definitively, but I would assume it's because they have the parts that we need. Our bicycles are very specific for serving a purpose. They're not average in any way, shape, or form. So I feel it's safe to assume that it's related to the specific equipment on the bicycles.
Purchasing usually goes out for quotes on services like that.
Correct.
And we go with the lowest whenever possible.
Oh, they do? Oh, can I see those copies that they sent out for quotes? She said they sent out quotes. I want to see
I said
them.
they usually send out quotes.
I'll
So-
see what we have.
Okay, I'll email you on that. Page 56. Is that Karen Hensel? Brick Township Board of Education, $790.
I think it's 709.
709. 709.50.
They had an application before our planning board.
School board did,
The school board did, correct.
so we paid for it?
No, this came out of the planning board rider.
Okay. And page 16, Concord Engineering Group, Solar Field Professional Services. It's $171.50. I remember Concord Engineering, they came here and tried to get the whole town involved in buying electric from everybody here in town. I remember it. What was that for? Do you recall?
The township has a contract with Concord Engineering as our energy consultants, and they have been working on a project at the solar field that would increase our return on investment.
I did send some emails out on that, and I didn't receive anything back. That's all I have on these bills. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from council? Seeing none, close council, open to public. On the bills. Seeing none, close public. Roll call, please.
Councilman Fosman.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Abstain CMU, yes to the rest.
Councilman Mumalo.
Abstained, Grace Romano and Associates and Meridian Occupational Health, and yes to the rest.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Zapsik.
Yes.
Thank you.
Item 418.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid, and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Manual bill resolution in the amount of $1,754,448.74.
Thank you. May I have a motion and a second,
I
please?
make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Fosman, second by Councilman Mumolo. Open to council for comments. Seeing none, close council. Open to public for comments on the manual bill resolution. Seeing none, close council. Roll call. Close public. Roll call, please.
Councilman Fosman.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Mumolo.
Yes.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Zapsik.
Yes.
Thank you.
We are now at public comment. Madam Clerk.
Please note that each person addressing the council during any section of the meeting during which public comment is permitted shall limit his or her remarks to 5 minutes pursuant to Brick Township Administrative Code, Section 2-33B.
Thank you. Ma'am, did you want to speak at public comment? You had asked about the resolution before?
I do have a question.
So please come forward.
Hi. My name is Jill Kowalski. I live at 371 Iroquois Drive in Brooklyn, New Jersey. My question is, and I met with Ms. Bergen last Friday, I believe. I am quoting New Jersey Statute 4055D 53.2A, where an applicant has notification to dispute charges, appeals, rules, regulations. So we discussed, I was in front of the zoning board. I had a ruling. I received double billing from the attorney. I'm questioning the billing, that's all. We went over it, and you were gonna get back to me.
Yes, so I actually did email you earlier that we have asked the zoning board attorney to sign the confirmation that he received the packet.
Oh, perfect.
We have signed it. And once he gets it back to me, it'll be completed, and I'll get that to you.
Okay, only because there's a time frame. So I was just coming here
And
to
our
follow
township
up.
attorney's been notified, the zoning board of
Okay.
adjustment attorney's been notified, so the process is underway.
Okay, good. So you already emailed me something.
I did.
Okay, I was in the environmental commission, so I didn't see my email.
Okay.
Okay, so because I have, it says a reasonable amount of time, the township has a reasonable amount of time to remediate. So, like what is a reasonable amount of time?
Well, I would expect that we would have to get a call.
Right, statute says reasonable, it's not specific, but I would say probably in the next week or so, we can figure out what our position is and see if we can work it out, and if we can't, you have your rights of appeal to the County Construction Board of Appeal as well. But we'll get back to you and we'll discuss it.
Okay, perfect. I just want to know, so when my 45 days, maybe you know, being an attorney, does that start, is that from the hearing date?
No,
Or
that's-
from the date of the last bill, is the way I read it?
That's how I read it, too.
That's the way I read it as well. And you can, I mean, I don't want to tell you what you should or shouldn't do. You can take whatever action you think is necessary to preserve your rights, but we're not going to delay things on our end. We'll get back to you. I would say certainly within a week or so, by next week, we'll get back to you.
So by next Monday, I can expect, only because of the 45 days. I don't know the answer to that, and if you don't know the answer,
I don't, and I don't want you, I don't want to tell you what it is, because I'm not sure either. I think it's from the day of the last bill, but I would say this, if you think you need to take action to protect your interests.
I'd rather not. I mean,
Yeah.
I've lived in the town for 23 years. I'd rather just work it out.
Yep.
I'm just want to protect my,
I understand. We won't have a problem getting back to you by next week.
okay, great, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Foster?
Sam Foster, 100 Teagle Drive. I have 2 points here. First is I was watching the video on YouTube of the, not the last council meeting, but the council meeting I think would be in May, and it cut out after a certain amount of time. And I wanted to know why that meeting cut out at a certain point. Do you know anything about it?
Mrs. Bergen?
So, Mr. Foster, the software system we have in place that records the meeting maxed out on memory, but no alert was sent out, no blinking, there was no way for the gentleman in the booth monitoring the TV cameras knew that the memory had maxed out to do anything preemptively, so we did not know until the next day when it was posted that it had cut out.
Okay, because I noticed that there is a audio-only version of that
Which we
council meeting
posted
online.
once we recognized that it was cut out. We wanted to post what we had available.
Is the recording system different than the video, or is it tied in together?
Well, they're tied in together for the purpose of the video, but they are independent systems.
Okay, because it just seems strange to me about when it cut off, because I was, it just cut off at the point when I had complained at the council meeting about Councilman DeYoung's conduct about tossing a folder at Councilman Foster. I just think that was strange. And I discussed this at a Democratic Club meeting with the people there, but, okay. I just know in the past when we had other meetings that would go until 11, 12 o'clock at night, we didn't have this problem. Now, is this a new system that we have in place here, or is it something that's been in effect for a long period of time?
It's relatively new.
It's relatively new. Maybe we should go back to the old version, because, it's an important meeting.
I do
And,
apologize for the timing. I assure
now,
you it was
this will not affect the
malfunction.
transcripts of the meeting if
Not at
someone
all.
wants to get, okay, good,
You're
thank you.
correct. You
All
are
right, that's
correct.
one point. Second point, I'm going to make this quick, but I just wanted to ask, I want to bring the attention of the council president again. I mentioned this last time I was here, about conduct of certain people that I feel are disruptive during council meetings, and I saw it again tonight when Councilman Fosman was speaking. And I just think that it's inappropriate for council members up there to make faces and smile or smirk when he is speaking, which I saw tonight from Councilman Mumlo and Councilwoman DeYoung once again. And I know at the last council meeting I was here, I asked what policies were in place so that we can inform this to you at the time to stop it, because it started with Councilman Mumlo, and then Councilwoman DeYoung started. Now, because like I said, this is not something that we should have going on during council meetings. It doesn't make us look good. And no matter if you like or dislike each other, it doesn't matter. We should not have this going on during council meetings. As I said, I attend Tom's River council meetings, and I know that they don't like Councilman Roderick because he switched from Democratic to the Republican Party, but they don't act like this there. And I just think that I don't want it to get out of hand. And again, so I just want to bring this to your attention, Councilwoman Zabzik, if you can speak to the two council members in person. And again, I'd like to know how we can, if I see something that you don't see because you're running the meeting, would it be appropriate for me to approach the township attorney or a police officer in the back, or what, to bring it to your attention, to stop it from escalating to the point where there's an incident like what happened last year when Councilwoman DeYoung was the council president and people were heckled. I was, Nan Call was, and a couple other people were heckled, and then it escalated to arguments, and then, as you know, I was assaulted by a former Brick police officer as I was leaving. So before that happens and it escalates, I wanted to know, what do you have you come up with? I know Mr. Starkey said he would look into it. Have you made a decision about what, if any, policy you're going to form so that we can inform, just to bring to your attention, so you can say, just admonish them in private or whatever from the bench, just so that they know that they are, that you're aware of it being brought to your attention. And I just want to ask that question to you.
No.
Do you have anything, a policy in effect, or yes? I know Mr. Starkey said he was going to look into it, but
My opinion is the same as it was last time. If you have a complaint or concern about any council member, you're free to get up during public comment and point it out. You're exercising that right now.
I understand that, Mr. Starkey.
It is not appropriate for you or any other member to interrupt a meeting, to be disruptive while you're in the audience. You can get up and speak now, which you're doing.
I know, but what I'm saying, my point was last time was that my point is I wanted to bring it to the attention. First of all, it would be disruptive, because they allowed this during freeholder meetings and Tom's River council meetings, and that's precedent that I feel would be appropriate here. I'm trying to prevent something from the council meeting from degenerating into an issue where it becomes disruptive. That's what I'm saying. Now, if you don't have a policy, then we should, I don't think it's, I don't understand why you say I would be disrupting the council meeting if I were to approach you and say, can you bring this to the attention of the council president or a police officer? That's certainly not being disruptive. What's being disruptive is when I see Councilman Mumlo up there smirking and laughing at Councilman Fossen when he was speaking during the bill agenda, and Councilman DeYoung doing the same thing, and Councilman DeYoung throwing the folder at Councilman Fossen at the last council meeting I attended, which very conveniently the video cut out just at that point. That's what I'm talking about. But like I said, if you don't have anything in place, I can go through the courts and I can do it that way, but I was hoping we could avoid a court battle because, like I said, this is uncalled for. This does not happen at Toms River Council meetings. It does not happen at Ocean County Freeholder meetings. And before we have a situation in town whereby we have a council meeting degenerate like it did last year when Councilwoman DeYoung was the council president and she allowed people to be heckled here and did nothing about it, I would hope that you would, someone would take charge here and say, okay, this is the policy. Raise your hand when someone is, if I'm speaking and someone sees something going on, I don't feel that anybody would be disruptive if they were to raise their hand and say Councilman Mummo is smirking or at the speaker or something like that. But like I said, something has to be done because it's the same people over and over again. And if you don't want to take action, then like I said, I can file a court filing and bring it to the attention of the judge. But if that happens, then it's going to be sanctioned against the township. Because like I said, it's been going on for a while. I understand that people have hard feelings about Councilman Fosman because he switched parties. But like I said, it doesn't happen during Toms River Council meetings, and it shouldn't happen here. That's all.
Anyone else from public? Mr. Sluka?
Hi, John Sluka, 950 Sylvia Court. I'll read my letter, which I guess you all have. Dear Mayor Ducey, Council President Andrea Zapsik, and all the Brick Council men and councilwomen. The residents of Evergreen Woods, Primrose Gardens, Greenbrier, Birchwood Park, Brick High, Brick American Field Town Hall, Sutton Village, Lanes Mill School, and other places in Brick and Toms River and other areas of Ocean County have been besieged by the vast amount of toxins that are flowing off the Garden State Parkway. Increased forestation, 14-foot pollution noise wall to combat some of the damage caused by the illegal actions of the commissioners of the New Jersey Turnpike Authority is needed. It's needed now and has been needed since the commissioners started their assault on the health of the residents of Brick Township and Ocean County. How many studies have to be presented to the NJTA, New Jersey state officials, and other assemblies, councils, and mayors before action is taken? Study after study within New Jersey and the rest of the world have been conducted, and in general, they all conclude air pollution from traffic harms our residents. Seniors are dying prematurely, children are becoming ill with asthma and other lung and heart ailments, pregnant women are subjected to the poisons and have low-weight babies, and could be subjecting yet-to-be-born infants to autism and other diseases. Air pollution from exhaust fumes kill. We may be able to curb some of the ills that are befalling the children and seniors in the shore community by compelling the NJTA to build a pollution, safety, and noise wall along with shrubs and trees on the path of the Garden State Parkway. But this will take an honest, intense, and robust commitment by our local officials. It can't be one study, one speech, or one person to act, but rather a joint and coordinated effort on behalf of our citizens. As a community and family, we need to act as one. One that is not beholden to the lobbyists, power brokers, political parties, and bureaucracies associated with agencies like the NJTA, but committed to the community here in Brick and Ocean County. With the destruction of the environment, the lobbyists, power brokers, and politicians' pocketbooks have expanded while the health of the citizens have worsened. Shouldn't our local elected mayor, school boards, councils, and assemblies stand with the people? Shouldn't every representative of the people stand and speak out? Can you truly believe that only one representative or one official should be standing alone with the people? Can you truly believe by sitting on your hands quietly smiling is what we were elected to do? Do you really find that if your father or mother or brother or sister were developing COPD, would you just sit idly by and let this happen? Do you really believe that if your children were developing asthma or other health problems, you would just sit back and smile? Do you really believe that if your mother, sister, or child was pregnant and possibly having an autistic child because you took no action, you can look in the mirror and just smile. The mayor said in his annual message that we're a family, and that if that's not just political rhetoric, and we are each other's brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, and children, shouldn't we take action? The school board tells us 22% of our residents in the school system have special needs. Shouldn't we be helping our family here in Brick? Air toxins are causing your children asthma and other lung ailments, so you can just look at yourself. Why would you not act for your child, your brother, or your sister? If you know there is a high probability that the air entering the lungs of your sister or mother or daughter will cause her to have an autistic child, would you just sit back and smile? The time to act is now, and not just sit idly back and let one person who may have a flowery speech, a nice title, or a high level of education do the thinking for us all. If we are truly family, each of us must stand tall, speak out, and create an avenue for a lawsuit, if that's what it takes, that will help every member of our family. As a representative of the people, you should not be the mouthpieces of big business, big unions, and government bureaucracies, but truly be one that wants to stand with his or her brother, sister, father, or child, and do what is necessary and right. A wall and increased forestation may not be perfect, but it's at least the minimum that is needed to enhance the health and well-being of our family, and in the long run, save the lives of our mothers, fathers, children, and every resident. And everybody else. Don't be afraid to use the library. Get help looking up the info. We had a library person here today saying all the stuff that they do. There's study after study on toxins and health. Or just go back to the secretary here at the council meeting and read some of the studies I left. Thanks for your time. I yield back 2 seconds.
Thank you. Anyone else from public? Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Briggs.
Melanie Briggs. First thing I want to bring up is, on Facebook today, I saw a cutout of a foot, and it was a sign posted at all beaches. I don't remember the exact quote, but these should be the only things left behind. I make a suggestion that we get those signs made up and put them at the beaches, put them at Windward. Maybe 20 at Windward would work.
I believe sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Last, I think, spring, we had a presentation. It was Leave Only Your Footprints Behind, and they give us stickers and signs to put on our trash receptacles and up at our beaches and our parks. Because we have so many beaches and so many parks, they only have so many stickers. I reached out to them, I believe, a month or two ago, and they were contacting parks and DPW to get more, so we can put more out at
Because I thought that was a
locations.
novel way of doing it, the footprint.
Absolutely.
It certainly got my attention. I don't even go to the beach. At the last meeting, someone mentioned about a resident that needed something removed from his house, and the township workers wouldn't do it. I think the township workers in August proved that they do come out and help people. They're not allowed to go to people's houses and remove things, because I think if you can imagine, what's our population, 85,000 at summertime? I need you to help me get this out. I need you to help me get that out. And what happens when an employee gets hurt? Who's responsible? The homeowner? I just feel that that had to be clarified, because not for any specific reason, but I think the employees get bashed. Subject of the price of gas was discussed by a resident. The Garden State Parkway and the Turnpike go up once a week on Friday. The neighborhood gas station can go up any day. I pass the gas station that used to be at the entrance to the Parkway every morning, and I do a double take sometimes when it's $2.99 or $3.19. But that's not the norm. I just think some things should be answered when people make statements that are so ridiculous that They shouldn't be let to just hang in the air like, oh my God, people don't help each other. And I do have a question. Did that resident watch the meeting so that she can apologize to the mayor? Thank you.
Ms. Call.
Nan Call, 18 Greenbrier Boulevard, and I have to believe that the last comments by Ms. Briggs pertain to me. And basically, I was not bashing the employees. I was bringing up something I've brought up many times, that we could do more as a family that the mayor claims we are, as a community, as a township, to help particularly the older people. The man is 95 years old. He will be 96 on July 26th. He had been awarded the French Legion of Honor medal. He was the first from our town, although that was not brought up recently. At D-Day, there was another man in my place too, but I don't know for sure how Bob Pocorobo is doing, or if he's even still with us. He was awarded the medal later, and a person from Greenbrier. You think that anybody showed these three men? But Mr. Pruxma was also awarded a few months ago the highest award that any MP can get for his acts during D-Day and afterwards when he landed at Utah Beach and carried out a mission of mercy, and people here are well acquainted. I wasn't bashing the people, the employees, of which Mrs. Briggs is one of the employees, and shouldn't be bashing me or anyone else. And while I'm at it, Mr. Foster, who has left, he bid me good night. I was watching tonight when the councilwoman seemed quite amused when Mr. Fosman, Councilman Fosman, questioned items on the bill, which is his, not only his right, it's his fiduciary duty and hers, but she never questions anything. And I watched. She was very amused. She had her head bent down that I can only believe she was looking at her smartphone. Councilman Mumolo and the mayor all seemed to be very engrossed in that time, so did Councilwoman Crate. Especially when Mr. Sluka was reading his letter. Haven't you all heard it or read it before? All but Councilman Fosman, I would believe, had. This is a repeated behavior, and I only recognized it when it was called to my attention by other people who attend these meetings and often have something to say. Now, as to Mr. Foster's comment about calling it to the attention, I'm sorry. The attorney should know better. There is a way to do it without disrupting the audience, but that requires that we follow what the code said about conducting our meetings and where it says follow Robert's Rules of Order. I did paste on a Facebook I managed today about it. Not this specifically, but about following Robert's rules and how it makes your meeting more efficient, to go quicker, and come to the decisions you need to because you allow everybody to have their voice. The way to do it is for Mr. Foster or myself, even, like I could have done tonight, to raise my hand and say, if I'm not immediately acknowledged, point of order, and then call to the attention of the assembled group, but in particular the president, whose job it really is not to educate or take anyone aside. Only during the meeting, if it's called to the president's attention, can it be addressed that somebody isn't paying attention as they should, as I watched tonight. And anybody who is behind me may have seen me straighten up, sit up quite erectly, which I don't do. I slouch a lot. It's a disgrace, and I had thought a few weeks ago, maybe we should collect your smartphones before the meeting starts, so you can't be looking at your phones and laughing at one another and somehow exchanging comments.
Anyone else from public? Yes, ma'am?
I just have, as I mentioned, I had recently been in front of the Board of Adjustment. And there appears to be some confusion. This town council back in second reading was August 24th, 2010 regarding a living fence. I don't know if any of you were even remotely around or know about that. But the purpose and the reason why the fence ordinance was changed to include a living fence, meaning plant material, was to protect homes that live within 200 feet of the water. The way the current fence section of the code is written, 245, fences. I don't want to read it, but the zoning officer seems to think that a fence must be in a straight line versus a staggered row. I'm a landscape architect, so I know plant material, and I know the purpose and the intent when this ordinance was changed back in 2010. And I design commercial properties, residential properties, that's my career. So I design per the code. And I think there's some interpretation of the ordinance. I don't know if it's town council. I'm just putting it on the record because I've experienced it in my own way. So my story, there were trees planted in a straight line. The zoning officer advised the people that the code violation was written. He advised them to stagger it. Being a landscape architect, that's a buffer. In your code, you have a buffer definition, which is evergreens 10 feet on center. It protects residential from commercial properties. I just think there might be a way to get a tighter writing of this section of the ordinance. That's all I'm suggesting. I'm not protesting. Like I said, I'm moving forward. But there is definitely, even the zoning officer, I spoke to Mrs. Bergen about this too. There was no landscape professional architect consulted on my case. The chairman of the zoning board asked Chris Romano, the zoning officer, what does he know about the height of trees? He said, I know nothing. I'm not an expert. And decision was made, I think, improperly. So I'm not protesting the decision, I'm moving forward, but I think the council, being that you're the ones who tighten the ordinance to include a living fence, which is a new, living fences are all over now.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe you could look at that. That would be my suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from public? Yes, sir?
Jason Carey, 233 Cherry Quay Road in Brick. My first thing is that I cannot produce a live video from in here. I don't know why. I walk out the door, my live video is fine. I walk in the door, my live video is not working. I got 5 minutes, so I got 15 seconds actually, it looks like. The speed on Cherry Quay Road, what's that? Okay, sorry, I'm taller than she is.
Thank you.
The speed on Cherry Quay Road has been debated many times with the people that live there. I've got tons of emails requesting that it gets lowered. I don't know, it's a county road, it's 40 miles an hour, but everybody's driving 60. I live on the big turn. I cannot leave my driveway without getting hit. My wife was hit 6 times in 1 year. People die on my street on an annual basis. Accidents occur weekly. There's 295 accidents in 5 years in here. Most of them are very significant. Drunk driving is a big part of it as well. There is a way to lower the speed limit, to petition the county through Drew's Law. It's been passed, it's been used. It's a way to take a residential area and bring it from 40 down to 25. Cherry Quay Road is a death trap. Just 3 nights ago, a car just went off the road and slammed into trees, just missed kids on bikes. There's bus stops, there's children, there's bicycling rampant on my street, no sidewalks. This is so dangerous. I mow most of Cherry Quay Road so that the kids can get away from the road a little bit. I also pick up the litter on Cherry Quay Road so it doesn't look like crap. Yet the code enforcement officer gives me a ticket for having a tire in my driveway that's been there for 3 years that I pulled out of the woods. Something has to be done with the speed on Cherry Quay Road. I got another few minutes. The township, I Googled and Oprah requested the number of accidents the township vehicles have been in, the number of accidents. It's staggering. The number of police-involved accidents, just this year, 3 and 1 officer. They're never drug tested. They're never tested for DUI. They don't get tickets. They slam into everything in the town. They're driving in a parking lot and they hit a guardrail. If I hit a guardrail, I stop. But this officer just drives through it and wipes out the entire side of his vehicle. It's not just one officer. It's many, and it's a lot of the town. It's all in here. It's 200 and something accidents. I don't know what that costs. I'm thinking about $100,000, maybe $150,000. The township, I believe, the taxpayers pick that bill up. Council meeting. I did have another something to talk about. The number of accidents on Cherry Quay Road is phenomenal. I mean, this is a residential area, and there are hundreds and hundreds of accidents. Tickets are almost non-existent. I've offered the Brick Township Police to sit in my driveway. I'm at the blind turn. It's a great speed trap. All you got to do is sit in my driveway. They come flying by at 70 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour. It is the best place to write citations. They will not use my driveway. I don't mind if they're there. In fact, I enjoy the company of police. I went to the coffee with a cop and had a great time. They were nice officers. You couldn't have picked better policemen to represent the force. We talked about fishing, hunting, child rearing, everything you can imagine, and we had a great time. These are guys that should be on the force. The guys that are drinking at 70, Beacon 70 and the Ale House, that are drinking and driving when they leave there, those are the officers you really have to look at as if you really want them on your force. These guys are causing a problem. There's plenty of documented emails from people in Cherry Quay requesting that these officers get looked at. Breathalyze them when they come in. Drug test them for their behavior. One officer assaulted me because I pulled him over and asked him why he's driving so fast on my road. He nearly hit me crossing the center line, and right away he said that I swerved towards him. There's a typical drug addict remark, to blame somebody else for your actions. And then he thought my cell phone was a weapon, so he smacked it out of my hand. That's assault. But then no time during the stop did he look at the alleged weapon to see if it was a felony chargeable weapon. This police officer needs to be looked at. This isn't his only interaction with behavior unbecoming an officer. It's his 7th account in court, lying, stealing evidence. This is all in court papers. I didn't make it up. I didn't create it from my own mind. And instead of internal looking into him, they're calling me about my emails and my posts on Facebook. I got 20 seconds. I just wanted to thank you all for being here. Enjoy your day. Thank you.
Councilwoman Mariana Ponchonero is not here tonight. She is the chair of Public Safety. I recommend you give her an email and fit everything in there, so when we have a meeting, this can be discussed at the meeting.
That'd be great.
And the committee of Councilwoman, Council President right here, and myself are on that committee.
Fantastic.
So sending that email, and when we have our meeting, we can discuss that and see what can be done.
I really appreciate it.
All right. And if you want, you can send it to me, and you can send it to the Council President too, all 3 of us.
I sent you an email on how hard I worked to vote, so I hope you enjoy your evening.
Thank you.
Mrs. Bergen, did you have something on this?
Well, yes, I wanted to, if I may, Council President, I just wanted to make some clarification points. So I also looked at the number of accidents on Cherry Quay Road that could be related to speeding. So I didn't look at the incidents that were at the intersection of Drum Point and Cherry Quay. I looked at the stretch of Cherry Quay. There were 18 accidents in 5 years. So I'm not sure what data he's looking at, but I would be happy to take a look at that. The accident records are 18 in 5 years. So I wanted to clarify that. And the second point, as you guys know, we've had these conversations before about county roads and requests to change the speed limit. We can send traffic safety out and do a study, and of quite often, the studies determine that the roadway can not only hold the posted speed, but can hold a higher speed. So that can backfire and would end up justifying a speed limit increase. So we shy away from doing that and leave it to the county to do their own studies and make their own determinations. That has been our practice. And then the third point I wanted to make is a request that came last meeting from Councilman Fosman, wanted to know how many vehicles were repaired under the Mako collision contract that was awarded in the past 2 years. He was looking at prior expenditures, and I did follow up and tell him that there were 36 vehicles that were repaired over the 2-year contract. 20 vehicles were related to motor vehicle accidents. That includes police cars. And we have a fleet of 395 vehicles, so I don't know how 20 out of 395 vehicles, and considering those 395 vehicles, a large portion of them are on the road 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I imagine it's subjective if that is staggering, but that's the number.
Council President, if this gentleman's coming in saying there's a problem in Cherry Quay, there has been accidents there, he's reporting something, why don't we have the radar go out there with the police and have them ask him to sit there and do some traffic control and see if this is what's going on there, and then pass out some tickets or do something to address this issue?
We have asked them, and they do selective enforcement on as many roads as they can within the time frame of their work period. So
Well, how about-
selective enforcement happens all across town.
But we do put out on the ones that say 40 miles an hour, and they do have the signs up that we wheel out there and leave there so people can see if they're going over the speed limit. You know, they do have that in our township, so why can't we send that out there and just have that sit there so when someone goes by, they'll see how fast they're going. Then maybe they'll see that there and start slowing down a little. If that's
We
an
can
issue.
certainly ask the county to put that sign out there. It's a county road, so
Well-
typically they put the slow down and blinking sign, and we do it on our roads, but we can certainly make that request.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else from public? Ms. Jones?
Hello, my name is Roxanne Jones of the Laurelton section in West Princeton Avenue. And I'd like to say is that even though, no, I don't live near Greenbrier, I do understand their concerns because I have allergic asthma, and I also understand the importance of environmental conservation. And I believe that what they suggest is a great idea and a proper one, and that we should make that our priority. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from public? Seeing none, close public. Mrs. Bergen.
So I do have a very brief report. Thank you, Council President Zapsik. I wanted to let everyone know that the township received the results from the soil and sediment sampling done at the stockpile material that's here at Town Hall, DPW, and Traders Cove. The testing was completed in accordance with the sediment sampling and analysis plan that was approved by the NJDEP. The sampling was implemented as outlined in that plan and included what we call grabs, which are soil samples at Town Hall, DPW, and Traders Cove. And I'm happy to report that the testing shows the material to be below all state standards that would have required them to be handled in a different manner than we did. Just wanted to update everybody on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Ducey.
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to make a correction. So anytime there's a motor vehicle accident, police, DPW, IT, whatever department it may be, whoever the driver is in that gets they get drug tested. They go to our we have a contract with the place. So and they have to their department head or supervisor has to takes them. Keeps their eye on them the whole way, takes them there to the lab, and so that there's no chance of anything happening in between. Oh, I went somewhere else in between or something like that. So there's a whole process we have in place, and that's after every single accident with any of the vehicles here. I want to congratulate all the graduates, be it kindergarten, 8th grade, high school, college. I had the opportunity to attend 3 out of the 4 graduations. Unfortunately, the way the high schools do it now, they do them at the same exact time, so you can only be in one of those places. But I made it to 2, both of the 8th grade middle schools, and then I also made it to Brick Memorial this year. So congratulations to everybody. Sorry, Brick Township, I was there last year, so I kind of alternate back and forth. I guess we're getting a new superintendent, so maybe the new superintendent will switch back to having them stagger time, so possibly I can go to both, and he or she can go to both as well, but, I don't know. I get this, they like having them at the same time for some reason. Want to remind everybody, of course, everybody knows it's our 25th version of Summerfest concerts, and it is Thursday, July 4th, so it's the first time we've done it on July 4th. Jesse's Girl is going to be the band. The Beer and Wine Garden is there, Windward Tavern. All of our food trucks are there, and we're going to have an awesome fireworks show, which is a July 4th spectacular, so it's even better than what we normally do. Hopefully I'll see everybody out there. Try to take the shuttles, because it is going to be packed. As long as the weather is perfect. If it's raining, maybe not. But if it's good weather, it is going to be absolutely packed. And the shuttles are the way to go. We increased the shuttles, so they're leaving from a couple different schools this year. So make sure you take the shuttles down there. And the very next day, for anybody who's a senior, Friday, July 5th at 4 o'clock, we do our senior dinner and a movie, which is Yankee Doodle Dandy. But you do have to make reservations. It's free dinner, free movie. You have to call Recreation 732-262-1076. Make your reservations now for 4 o'clock on July 5th for Yankee Doodle Dandy. Happy 4th of July. I'll see everybody out there.
Mr. Starkey.
Yes, I have one thing to report, and it's regarding a lawsuit that was filed against the township. And this was actually brought up at the last meeting. A gentleman got up and expressed concern that there was a claim that $20 million is being sought. It was a lawsuit by a gentleman named Walter Uzinski. He used to be the former superintendent of schools, against the township, Mayor Ducey, Administrator Bergen, and also against the Board of Ed and the prosecutor's office. We had counsel appointed by the insurance company, Kevin Reardon, who did an excellent job. He filed a motion to dismiss, which was to have the case thrown out. And yesterday, before that motion was even heard by the court, Mr. Uzinski and his attorney agreed to drop the lawsuit against the mayor, the township, and Ms. Bergen for there's no payment. It is simply being dismissed, which I think is the right result, given that the allegations that were made were simply that the mayor was he said, Uzinski said the mayor was wrong because the mayor reported suspicious activity to the prosecutor's office. And I said at the time, and I'll say it again, that's the mayor's obligation as mayor of the township. So that lawsuit has been dismissed with prejudice, and there was also a related lawsuit brought by a woman named Lorraine Morgan, also against the mayor, the township, and Ms. Bergen. That is in the process of also being dismissed, again, without any payment from the township or the mayor or Ms. Bergen. And I'm pleased to report to the council just what I think is a very satisfactory outcome for lawsuits that frankly should never have been brought. That's all I have for tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk?
I have nothing, thank you.
Madam Secretary? Councilman Fosman?
Yes, I have a few things. Just out of curiosity, when you were talking about the dredging, can we get our permits now since that soil sample came back?
That process remains underway and will absolutely be completed.
Thank you. Congratulations to Tom Kaczmarek on his Atlantic City Hall of Fame induction. And thank you to the Brick police officers, Tylen Stevenson and Kevin Doherty, for helping save a 21-month-old township child from choking. Everybody heard that was a great training on these officers here. They really did. They really came through, and that's just great news to hear. On June 22nd, I had coffee with the cops at the Jersey Shore Bagel at 325 Drum Point Road. With Brick's finest and my friends Vicky Chad, Max Flores, and Neil Napolitano. I had the honor of being hosted by Mrs. Riley's 5th grade students as a Career Week guest speaker at Midstream Elementary School here in Brick on June 17th. It was my pleasure to answer the students' questions, and I feel it's a great thing that they are so inquisitive. And who knows, one of these students might want to run for local office one day in the future. And after leaving the classroom, I thought about the current state budget crisis and how it's affecting the Brick Township School District. Seeing firsthand the faces those budget cuts affect the students and the teachers, Brick Township is being treated unfairly by an unfair school funding formula in New Jersey that takes money out of the classrooms like Mrs. Riley's and sends it to the urban school districts. Our district is being penalized. Taxpayers in Brick are funding schools all across the North Jersey, and we need to continue fighting until the matter is resolved. I just want to say that the kids made me a great card, and they all signed it on the inside, and it was very nice of them. I gave them all little American flags when I was there, so they really enjoyed it. On Thursday, June 13th, I sent out some emails. Was to the mayor and Joanne Bergen on how many lawsuits has the township been involved in since 2009 through today. I haven't received it back yet. Then I sent another one out to Dan Newman, Joanne Bergen, and Mayor Ducey. Please provide me with a complete list of the 21 businesses, stores that had construction fees waived. Yesterday, when I spoke to Dan Newman, he told me he sent the information to Joanne Bergen. I have not received the information as of yet. On Monday, June 17th, I emailed Maureen Lafferty, Joanne Bergen, and the mayor to please send a total capital debt for each year beginning in 2007 to 2019. I wrote down, please provide me the total amount borrowed for Traders Cove Marina and how much that was, and it was in grants, and how much are each year's bonding, what was the profit for each year's since its inception, and what are the expenses for each year. And my next one was how much total money was borrowed for the solar array since its inception, with the breakdown of each year, and how much total money each year was spent on operating the solar array, including but not limited to electric, lawn mowing, attorney's fees, etc. I speak first, so all the council gets to comment on what I say. So I have to wait 2 weeks to when they speak for me to comment on them. Okay, so the senior busing. So Council President, during the council comments at the last council meeting, I did go over this word for word on that. You spoke the name of the township employee without rights noticing them, and you should know better than that. You spoke about the director of senior services. You stated that you served on the transition committee in 2013, that Barbara Riley brought up the matter of senior busing. Let me tell you, Barbara Riley and I spoke at great length in 2013, as well as many times since, about her mother having led the charge for senior busing. Council President, you did nothing about the senior busing in 2013. Maybe you should have brought it up to the mayor's attention. In 2014, I served as Business and Finance Chair and performed a study on the prospect of buying 2 buses for our seniors rather than having the buses provide the service, the school buses providing the service. Along with the members at that time, Councilwoman DeYoung and former Councilwoman Lydecker, Mayor Ducey, Mr. Starkey, and Mrs. Bergen were there too. I have all the minutes of the meetings. Unfortunately, my council colleagues at that time were not in favor of this, so it was never left the committee. In fact, the mayor, a few meetings ago, you stated that I should have brought it to your attention. Mayor, you participated in the meeting, and you did know about it. So beginning in 2015, I no longer served on the Business and Finance Committee, but you, Council President, did, and you did nothing about the busing until very convincingly this election cycle. You know this is not the Act 2 of a stage play. This is real life. The grant for the senior bus was applied in 2015. So if you knew about this in 2013, why was nothing done? You waited to 2015 to fill out a grant for this bus. It could have been done a lot sooner, that's what I've been saying all along. This is what I mean about smoke and mirrors. Half-truths and no transparency. Debt service. Council President, at the last council meeting, you talked about $70 million in debt service owed by the township in 2014. You tell us that Mayor Ducey put a stop to that sort of debt, when in fact, back when he served on this council, before he became mayor, he voted for a $30 million loan to the developer of the solar array, which went on our debt. I asked for a lot of information, a lot of emails, and I still haven't gotten all the answers. I'm pretty close on my numbers here. So $30 million in debt he voted for, which was part of the $70 million debt. That is almost half of the township's debt, which directly affects how the township borrows money today, including the interest rate in the township and the rate the township gets. So, Council President, again, this is not a stage play. This is the people's tax money. And I voted no on that solar array because it's a bad deal all the way. And I'm waiting for more information on that, and I'll be bringing that up. And I have more. I sent this email out. To the mayor and Joanne. Joanne did say she'd give me a list of the vehicles that were in the accident. I have it right here. That's the list you sent me. On April 20th, it's a Saturday, I was dumping my weeds down at DPW, and so I saw that the pole barns were up, which was great. They're being put up, and I just wanted to see if the electrical was done in them and everything. So I drove around the back of the building, and when I saw that this building was knocked off the foundation right here, so there was some accident back there April 20th, but it's not on this paper here. This paper only goes to April 10th. I don't know what vehicle was involved there, but you can see the cinder block knocked right off the foundation. It must have been pretty good impact. That's solid steel around the building there. So I don't know what happened there, and it's not on my list here, or what vehicle it was, or could have been a backhoe, I don't know. And it doesn't include here unless it wasn't reported to the insurance company. Do you know anything about the damage to the building at DPW?
I do know that the answer that you asked me was, what did we spend under the contract, period? And that's why it ended April 10th. It was not to, you asked me specifically during the...
So there's more accidents than what are on this paper here.
You asked me for what, your specific question to me is what vehicles were repaired under the Mako contract that was being renewed the night of the council meeting. The contract ended on the date, and I gave you the answer to the question.
So can I get a complete list of all the accidents on the vehicles, and even if this one here, whatever crushed this building in, it had to be quite an impact because it knocked the cinder blocks right off the foundation and the steel frame. And I'd like to know what happened there now. I mean, if you could
I
email
believe
me.
what you had asked me previously was if we could take the data from the Accident Review Committee and put together a report that would be provided to the Public Safety Committee, and that's where we left it at the last meeting. I don't know if you want me to do something different, but that's what I was asked to do at the last meeting, and that's what we were doing.
So you're compiling a report that'll come to public safety?
Right, which would indicate the number of accidents involving township vehicles.
And when's our next public safety meeting?
I
think
believe
we had
there's one set for
already.
July. I
think we
believe
had-
there's one scheduled for July.
July? Okay. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Dion.
Thank you. I would like to congratulate Tom Kaczmarek, my favorite mayor, sorry, Mayor Ducey, for being inducted into the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. Tom is a great guy, and he is a fantastic sportsman, and he deserves all the kudos that go along with this honor. I have a Buy and Brick update. We have new to Buy and Brick is Tree Masters, and they are offering a 7.5% rebate for tree service, trimming, removal, and snow removal. So if you have some spring, summer projects outside for some trees, you can get a rebate on your property taxes while using Tree Masters. And Tara Ashley's Beauty and Barber Shop, located at 150 Drum Point Road, are offering a 10% rebate. I also just want to give kudos to Senior Services. On June 12th was the Senior Vendor Fair, and Zulma Soto and the entire staff over there did an amazing job, full of tons of vendors with lots of information from all over the spectrum. You had the county there, you had our floodplain management, you had banks, you had health departments, you had different nursing facilities, and all different kind of services that are offered throughout the town. And it was well attended and very well organized by our seniors. And I just want to wish everybody a very happy 4th of July and hope to see everybody at Summerfest.
Thank you. Councilman Mumolo.
Thank you, Madam President. Congratulations to Tom Kaczmarek. Great job. And his 55 years married. That's
65.
65? Wow, that's even better. We're all concerned about the school funding up here. Everybody, some of us have children that are in the school system. I want to thank the mayor for taking the day off and going to the school and marching with the schools and marching in Trenton. Did a great job, Mayor. Congratulations on that. We appreciate it. Councilman Fothman brought up transparency. I've been up here 5.5 years. I've been chairman of a lot of different committees. When minutes are released, we're all shared by all the chairmen. Councilman, I'm still waiting for the minutes from the August 14th meeting that never got released. So I don't know what you're holding out on that. God only knows. And I want to wish everybody a happy 4th of July. Thank you.
Councilman Halloran.
Thank you, Council President. Just congratulations to Tom Kaczmarek. If you've ever had an opportunity to speak with Tom, he has led such an interesting and an exciting life, and he has some great words of wisdom on how you lead your life. He's a very interesting gentleman, and I wish he and his wife many more years. 65 is great. I hope I make it. I'm getting close. Thank you to Nancy Voico from the library. We are very fortunate here in Ocean County. Ocean County has probably one of the best library systems. It's amazing the programs that they offer and all the events that they put on, and the system itself. I can tell you, my wife breathes books, and she orders them through the internet. She gets them. It's just it's an amazing system. So thank her. 4th of July is coming up. Please have a lot of fun, but be safe. That's it.
Thank you. Councilwoman Crate, or Council Vice President Crate.
That's whatever, it's fine. I wasn't going to say anything, but I do want to touch on something that was brought up this evening. Race notice was mentioned, and I just want to point out, for those of you that don't know, a race notice is a notification from a public body that it is going to discuss an individual's employment in an upcoming meeting. The purpose of a race notice is to avoid secrecy in governance. If you do not conduct any actual deliberations regarding an employee, a race notice is not necessary. From my understanding, when you made your comment 2 weeks ago, that was basically to commend an employee for bringing up or for doing all the work that she did in order to help get our senior busing going. So kudos to her again. I'm sorry I don't remember her name off the top of my head, but I just wanted to clarify what a rice notice is for anyone who's listening or watching and is unsure. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I don't want to be remiss in congratulating Tom on his achievement. Summertime is a wonderful time for cultural arts events here in Brick Township. We have Summerfest, but we also have coming up very shortly the annual Secret Gardens of Brick Tour and Tea that's sponsored by the Brick Garden Club. It's the 17th annual. Will be held on Tuesday, July 9th. You can tour 7 gardens of brick homeowners and then return to the Cultural Arts Center for refreshments, music, vendors, gift raffle, and more. Tickets are $15 in advance and $20 day of the tour, and they've been on sale since June 1st at the following locations: Added Touch Florist, 1021 Cedarbridge Avenue, Berry Fresh Farms, 151 Brick Boulevard, Flower Bar, 198 Chambersbridge Road, and Purple Iris Flower Shop, 2505 Route 88, Point Pleasant, or call 732-920-8231 for more information. Having gone to this a few times, it's probably the best $15 that anyone in Brick Township will spend this year, so I urge everyone to partake of that. It's the only fundraiser that the Garden Club does, and all that money comes back into beautification projects right here in Brick Township. Our two theater companies also have shows coming up. Guild Theater Works will present Jake's Women on Friday, July 19th, 20th, and 21st, and the 26th, 27th, and 28th. And that's at the Bob Anstatt Cultural Arts Center, and you can call 732-262-1006 for more information or to reserve seats. Then the Brick Children's Theater has their summer show at the Strand Theater. This year they are doing, and I didn't write it down, Cinderella, that's right. Said Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella, which is a wonderful show, and that will be on the 26th, 27th, and 28th also, so that's going to be a busy weekend for the arts, and you can reserve tickets for that at bcct.org. And then finally, on the cultural arts scene, our annual cultural arts flyer is available. The Recreation Department used to mail these, but in order to save some costs, they now send them out digitally. But there are print copies that are available here. It's got the plays at the Cultural Arts Center. It's got the concerts at Traders Cove and a few other events. And part of this is paid for by a grant from the New Jersey State Council on the Arts that's administered through the Ocean County Cultural and Heritage Commission. And then the last thing that I would like to say is, Ms. Cole, I love your idea about checking cell phones. I have a basket of an appropriate size in my house, and I will bring it in for the next meeting and leave it at the clerk's table, and I will gladly put my phone in, and I challenge every one of the council members to do likewise. And that's all I have this evening. Our next meeting will be on Tuesday, July 9th at 7 p.m. right here. We'll be checking our phones at the table. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
All in favor? Aye.